the Licensing Committee of today, the 20th of July, 2021. I'm going to hand over to Sammy Wintle to give some housekeeping.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to all those that are attending the Licensing Committee this evening and to those who are watching this meeting live via our YouTube channel. To those who are present with us this evening, I would just like to run through some brief housekeeping rules with you. Please could we ask you to use hand sanitizer when entering and exiting the room this evening, and you will find sanitisers located within the room should you require to use these during the meeting. We ask that face coverings are worn when moving around the room and are only removed when you are seated or standing to talk on an item. Please also remember to follow the social distancing guidelines we have in place here this evening. We are operating a one-way system in the room, and you will see signs on the doors to assist you. We are not expecting any test fire drills this evening. If you should hear a fire alarm, please make your way out of the room and down the stairs where officers will assist you to the evacuation location, which can be found across the road outside of the Star Hotel. Anybody requiring help in the event of an evacuation, please make yourself known and the relevant assistance will be provided. Please could I ask that all mobile phones are either switched off or put onto silent mode. Members, I will remind you that should you wish to speak this evening, please raise your hand and wait for myself or the chairman to acknowledge you, and your name will be added to those wishing to speak. When called to speak, you will be required to press the button on your microphone in front of you, which will turn red when active. Please can we ask that you speak both loudly and clearly into the microphone so those watching live can hear you. When voting this evening, members, this will be undertaken by a show of hands. Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, thank you, Sammy. Onto the agenda. Item number 1 is apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chairman. We have apologies from Councillor Courtine-Ackenbach, who's been substituted by Councillor Wainwright, and we have apologies from Councillor Gayler.
Thank you. Do we have any declarations of interest? No. On to item 3 then. To confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 1st of February 2021, rather than me go through them all, are there anyone wish to make any comment on them at all? Okay, we can take them on assent. Next item on the agenda is a second-class Hackney Carriage fares application. I will hand over to Denise Wilby, the licensing officer, to present.
Thank you, Chair. A request has been received from all 9 Landau operators asking for an increase in Landau fares. Currently the fares are £10 from the Landau Station Marine Parade to the Pleasure Beach and £15 for a return journey. The proposal asks that the return trip be increased to £20. The single journey would remain at £10. Landau fares were last increased in 2015 when the single journey was increased from £8 to £10. All licence plate holders have been consulted and no further comments have been received. If the fare increase is approved by committee, the new fares will have to be advertised in the local press. If there are objections, the council can either approve or amend the fares. The fares will come into effect after the expiry of the objections period if there are no representations.
Yes, thank you, Denise. Councillor Gill, you want to raise a point?
Do I have to stand or can I stay seated? No.
Oh, stay seated.
All right. Can I ask, the last time when we increased the fares for not Hackney carriages, for taxis, there was a reason, and that reason was that petrol prices and diesel prices had shot through the roof. I don't see anything in this letter that, apart from the fact that I think it says something about hay, that the prices have really gone up. And have we checked that there is actually an increase? Because I was informed when I asked someone that the price of hay is the same as it was 3 years ago. And some of these some of these Landau people grow their own hay. And could I suggest, I don't know whether I should move this or not, but could I suggest that we, because they're businesses, maybe we could have their business accounts submitted for the last 3 years, and then we can see whether the costs have gone up, rather than someone just write us a letter and say, our costs have gone up, because I could do that at First Move Furnishing. I could say all my prices have gone up, but not prove anything. And I think this letter is very, don't know how to be diplomatic because I'm not renowned for it. This letter is not very informative. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your question, Councillor Gill. I think the applicant could probably answer that, but common sense tells me that other things like vets charges and other associated items with the operation are likely to increase just purely by inflation. Yes, thank you, Denise, for your presentation. I'd now like to call upon Kelly Markham. Do you wish to make a statement or something that will help us?
It's not just the price of hay, and every year, whether the weather is hot, there's no rain, there's no hay. When it's raining, we can't cut the hay. So each year, it's not the same every year. You know what the weather's like. And it's not just the hay. The price of shoes have gone up. The price of vet bills have gone up. Straw's gone up. The rent where we keep our horses have gone up. We have winter rent, that's gone up. We have summer rent, that's gone up. It's not just hay. I don't know why it's just come out about hay, but it's about everything. And also horses have gone through the roof. We're trying to buy horses to go down the front to work. Obviously, when they get older, we retire them and we get new ones. We can't even afford a new horse, whether that's irrelevant now, but our work is only for so many months of the year. And then through the winter, them horses have still got to be fed, hay, watered, vet bills. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, yes, thank you. Councillor Teal?
Well, as I said a moment ago, I think I tend to agree with there's nothing in this world stays still. But at least we need the evidence before we can go, yes, we'll be putting it up to this. And the evidence I said to you a moment ago was that we asked them to provide 3 years' accounts so that we can see that it is. Because this might not be enough. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I'm saying we should look at the proof first. And I did move it.
Yes, thank you. Councillor Wainwright.
Well, I do tend to disagree with that. I mean, the fare has not gone up since 2015. I shouldn't think there's any business in the borough that have not put any prices up since 2015. And to ask £20 for a return visit from the Britannia Pier to the Pleasure Beach is not out of the way, in my opinion. I mean, you look at the fares for Blackpool, they're the same. But if we're going to start asking people for accounts and proof, you know, these people, I'm sure, are struggling like everybody in the borough is struggling. And, you know, it's been a tough time as well for them the last 12 months, 15 months. So I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I mean, if I was the Landau operators, I'd be putting up to £25 return. I mean, Blackpool charges £2.50 an extra person after 4 people. So I'm not sure how many people get in a Landau here, but you know, £20 is not a great deal of money. And I mean, to look after animals these days, and I know, you know, people that have got dogs, cats, the vet bills are horrendous. I mean, horrendous, not just a few £100. You're talking tens of thousands for some of these animals. So, and the vet bills have gone up. The insurance costs have gone up for the vet bills. As I say, I would move the recommendation. I think it's, if anything, it's not enough.
Thank you, Councillor Wainwright. Are there any more questions from the floor to the applicant? Councillor Bensley.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'd just like to agree with Councillor Wainwright. I'll second that for for the horses along the seafront. Yeah, they're a brilliant asset to our tourism, and the people who have to maintain them need, as I said, need supporting as such, and all bills have gone up. So unfortunately, yep, I'll second that, please.
Sorry, I'll say that. Because we've had Councillor Gill proposed that we seek the evidence. Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Gill, thank you for that. Right, well, we have one decision to make. We either approve the request or we refuse the request. All those in favour of approving the request, please raise their hands.
It's carried, Chairman.
Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you. That motion is that is granted. Go ahead, Denise.
Yeah, sorry, can I just add, so although you've agreed, obviously I will still need to advertise it, so the members of the public do have the chance to object, so it will just go through to the normal procedure.
Yes, sorry, I didn't appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry to come back again. I know I'm being a nuisance. I've been on a committee for 2 years, so I suppose I'd be a nuisance. I'm sorry I'm a nuisance. But can we do something about the signs on the side of the Hackney carriages? You know, the writing's about this big, when, you know, most people don't bother to read it, but maybe the charges should be largely displayed. Thank you. I'm sorry, Chair, to interrupt.
Okay, no, fair comment, Councillor Gill, and Kelly, perhaps you might consider that. That's it. Your application's heard and granted. You can go if you wish. Right, moving on. Item 5 is the taxi and private hire standards. Again, I will hand over to Denise to present.
So the Department for Transport has issued standards for taxi and private hire vehicles. This is under the provisions of the Policing and Crime Act 2017. Local authorities must have regard to this document when exercising their functions and formulating policy. So the focus is within the standards is on protecting children and vulnerable adults, although all passengers will benefit from the recommendations contained within it. The DFT have made it quite clear that they expect the recommendations to be implemented unless there is a compelling local reason why not to. The main recommendations are listed within the report, and I've outlined the impact it would have on our current procedures. To implement the standards, the Council will need to review its taxi licensing policy. So if members agree to adopt all the changes outlined, a revision of policy will be required, which will involve a full consultation with the trade, relevant organisations and the public.
Thank you, Denise. Does anyone have any questions of Denise over this? And as Denise has already said, I think we need to adopt this and have to, because it's come from up high, and a consultation will be held and we'll hear any responses to that in due course. Okay. With regard to this, I was just looking it up, sorry. We're asked to consider the new statutory taxi and private hire vehicle standards and agree whether to adopt them within this policy. All those in favour, please raise their hands. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you. That matter is to proceed. Thank you, Denise. Next item on the agenda is the gambling policy, an exciting document on pages 54 to 109. Again, I'll hand over to Denise to present.
Section 349 of the Gambling Act 2005 requires licensing authorities to publish a statement of the principles that they propose to apply in exercising their functions under the Act every 3 years. The Council's existing statement expires on the 30th of January 2022, and by this date the Council must have reviewed its gambling policy. The policy document included in your report has been revised to reflect changes, although these changes are very minimal, as there's been no significant changes in legislation. The amendments are shown in red in the draft policy, which is attached to your agenda. The consultation is planned for the 30th of July to the 28th of September, and any comments received within this period will be considered and final draft will be reported back to committee for their considerations. The final approval will be needed by full council at their meeting on the 30th of November. It's just in order to allow for this timeline, it is requested that an additional licensing committee be agreed for a date in October to consider any comments that we receive. So I think we just need to perhaps, if okay, agree a date in October as well. So, thanks.
Thank you, Denise. Anyone have any questions of Denise? Councillor Robinson-Payne.
Sorry, that was just, did you say the 13th of November? Oh, 30th. I thought I knew because that's a Saturday, so sorry. Thank you.
Well done for knowing that, Gary. Lovely way to remember it. Right, are there any further questions? Okay, then we'll move to recommendations.
Sorry, Chairman, what was the 30th of November?
The 30th, 3-0.
The 30th is the council meeting, Chair, so we just need to agree a date in October for a further licensing committee so that the licensing committee can hear it before it goes to council in November. So I'm just going to look at a date for you.
Thank you.
If you're happy, Chair, I can email that to members. We can agree it via email if members are happy to agree a date via email rather than me look now. It's up to you.
Yes, that would be convenient. Is that acceptable to everybody? Good.
Yep, thank you.
Right, well, there's only recommendations here, is that we are asked to agree to consult on the attached draft policy. Is everyone happy to do so? And if so, raise your hands. Anybody against that? Abstain from it? Thank you. We will be consulting on that, Denise. Thank you. Okay, item 7 is any other business. I've not had notification of any other business. Is there anything in the room that somebody would like to put forward? I'm sorry to say, Denise?
We have got the driver, or do you do that after any other business? Sorry.
Yes, we'll come to that later. Councillor Bensley, you wish to say something?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I fully agree with this policy and the consultation that we're going out, but it's just a question really about these apps that people have on their phones for betting, etc. I think they're really hidden danger, and I know us as a local authority, we're very limited in what we can do, but is there anything we can explore as in trying to help people off them? Because the actual physical businesses that are going to be involved with this policy, they're all, what should I say, they're all been taken under our wing as such and guidance, but these apps, these are like a stealth drug, for want of a better word, and people are getting very addicted to them, and I'm just concerned that they won't reach out for the help that they need, or they're not under the same sort of policies and rules and regulations that we can apply to the businesses that are, let's say, along our seafront or up Hemsley Beach Road. Is there anything we can do to that, please? Thank you.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure about the apps, but I can take it away and have a look at it. I would think the Gambling Commission must still regulate that facility on the app, but again, I'll look into that and I'll get back to you.
Thank you, Councillor Benzic. Right, the next item on the agenda is a confidential matter, and I must say that under section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public will be excluded from the meeting for the following item of business on the grounds that it involved the likely disclosure of exempt information as described in paragraph 1 of part 1 of the schedule 12A of the said Act. So anyone that needs to leave, will they leave now?